to the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. For the G's, by the G's, que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo, a huevo. Doesn't matter where you from, Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere, todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos, empurgamos, soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, and buenas, and welcome to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. We are coming live and direct from the island of Galapagos. So I'm sending out all of you Lacuna Galaxians and all you LA Galaxy fans a lot of love right now. Today, we're going to be previewing the LA Galaxy's upcoming home match against Atlanta United on Saturday, August 24th. The first match of the Galaxy's run-in and a momentous day that should see the debut of the Galaxy's newest bright light in their constellation, Marco Reus. Man, I am excited to be back with you guys. We have missed you. And of course, I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. You can find my written work at Extra Time Talking. You can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And since I'm here, you know that one thing is for certain. My co-host is right next to me, bringing back to you El Yerno Guapo, El Gitano Perdido, Ananda Kirana. Ananda, it's been too long, man.
It's been a while, but hey, you've been enjoying your vacation. By the way, guys, you know that Rob is in an undisclosed remote location in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, so you're gonna have to excuse his internet's gonna be a little dicey, but we will get through it together as we always do. It might be group therapy for your internet today, Baba, but you know we will plow through it as much as possible, and we just wanted to be back with you guys. So Rob is taking time out, boys and girls, out of his vacation. He is working on vacation. Might as well be a staycation at that point, Rob. But hey, he's doing the thing. He wanted to hang out with you guys, so we're making it happen for y'all. But man, MLS is back. We're back, Robert, and the Galaxy are back.
Back.
Well, shoot, it looks like Marco Reus is back. We'll tell you about his exploits today a little bit later. But yeah, guys, exciting. Just excited to be back with y'all. Excited to talk LA Galaxy. Excited to forget about Leagues Cup and talk about MLS soccer now. 8 games, big stretch coming up. Let's not overlook Atlanta. We're going to talk about them this game, but an important start to what is a very important stretch, as Maya said today in his press conference, turning that corner into the playoff stretch of the season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's business time now, and now, I mean,
yeah,
it already mattered so much every play. I mean, we've seen in the past that the Galaxy have missed out on the playoffs by literally 1 point or like goal difference. So everything matters, and everything is now compounded. So yeah, I mean, they had a press conference today in which everybody just impressed upon the fact that they need to turn, kind of get that sour taste of the Leagues Cup out of their mouth, and now it's business time, and it's now especially business time because the Galaxy have someone new in their lineup, and man, it's going to be exciting for all you guys who are going to be in the stadium on Saturday. I unfortunately am not going to be there. I have a big case of the FOMOs, but
still working on that tan. Still working on that tan, Papa. Still working on that tan. It's all good.
Oh man, yeah, no, but it's okay. When I get back, I'm gonna hit it full force and see if I can throw a German phrase or two at Marco. But you know what, Ananda? Yeah, man, it's go time for not only Galaxy, for us too. I mean, we have an Atlanta preview to get through, and then like I said, it's business time. After that, 7 matches left, and the race to say. So vamonos, go ahead and hit us with some housekeeping, and then we'll go ahead and hit some shout outs, and then we'll get into this game preview. Lickety split. And chat, we missed Joe, man. We missed Joe.
Housekeeping. All right, so it's time for that part of the show. So guys, you can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. And of course, you can find us on all of our socials at Lacuna Galaxiana. If you follow us, or if you've been following us, you've seen that we've had some really, really awesome guests on lately. So guys, go ahead and check out a couple episodes or a couple live streams, a couple pre-recorded ones that we've done recently. One with the canon Sophie Nicolau. We've had her on just very recently. Great conversation around sort of the journey, right? Taking a little bit of a look back, the journey of how we've, from fan boycott to where we are now. So I thought that was a great conversation with her. Even before her, we had another Brit, Philip Gawthorne. He is the sideline reporter for MLS and Apple TV. If you guys missed that one, go ahead. It's in the catalog. It's in the library. Go ahead and check that out. Some really, really good insight from Phil in terms of what he's seeing from the sidelines and sort of, the inside the sideline, sort of that point of view that neither Rob nor I would get. So I think that was a really interesting conversation with him as well. So go ahead and check that out, guys. And of course, if you are coming back to the chat, welcome back to our YouTube channel. And just before you guys forget, if you want to give us a shot, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and smash up those likes, guys. That's the best way to support this channel right now. And of course, as Robert always says, if someone else is looking for a Galaxy podcast, go ahead and share the love. And of course, Roberto, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. Aquí estamos, papá. Big stretch. Let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. Well, first and foremost, sending a lot of love and good vibes to one of our normal chat members here, and the homie and friend of the show, GCam. GCam, we heard your mom's is in the hospital, so we wanted to show her a lot of love. From us here at Lacuna Galaxiana, and the G community, man, we got your back. We're sending you all everything is good, and we're with you, man. So GCam, you and I, that one was special for you, baby. An AJ De La Garza update. As you guys know, we've been kind of talking up this Lucanos Heart 10th birthday celebration blood drive that AJ and his wife are going to be doing with the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. Good news, they have been able to sell out, or I don't know if it's sell out or like get all their spots like filled, so that they can reach their goals. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to AJ and Lucanos Heart. That's going to be going down on Sunday, August 25th. So just a couple of days away now, from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Hudson in Redondo Beach. And guys, sorry about it, but I had to turn off camera because, it's getting a little choppy on the airwaves over here on the island. So making sure that at the very least you can hear some audio rather than video. You've seen this face a bunch anyway. So you know what, I'd rather be able to bring you some audio anyway, but yeah, congratulations to AJ and Lucanos Heart for making it to the 10th anniversary. And you know what, if you guys still want to help, even though they've sold out like their slots, go ahead and figure out if hit up the Lucanos Heart website, hit up the Galaxy socials and see LA Galaxy Foundation and see if there's still something that you can do to help out. Every little bit of help is welcome, and I'm sure that AJ would appreciate. So once a G, always a G, guys. And you know what, we have been talking about this man, this new LA Galaxy player, the new star in the constellation. And as luck would have it, you know what, our two Los Gatacticos have stepped up to the plate once again and started or produced a Marco Reus video. They're breaking down whether this is the perfect signing or not. So hopefully you guys go ahead and check that out. That's going to be dropping tomorrow on Friday, 8/23. So go ahead and check it out. That's the Marco Reus video 2 from those GATACTICOS series. That's going to be Anandita Kirana and of course El Profe Alex Ruiz. And speaking of, before I forget, this one wasn't actually in shoutouts and announcements, Ananda, but of course Profe Alex and friend of the show, he's going to be appearing with the Podfather Josh Kessman at the game on the 24th. That'll be the lead up to the game. I believe their live show starts at 3:30 and goes till 4:45. So go ahead and check them out. That'll be at LA Galaxy Park. So excuse me, guys. So make sure and follow Alex or the Podfather or Josh Kessman for more information on where that's going down. Of course, that's going to be a great time. And we're telling you guys about AJ De La Garza. AJ was actually going to be stopping by for that live show, and make sure if you're going to the game on the 24th, you get there a little bit early and you check out that live show. Moving right along here, guys. We are telling you about the some activities on the 24th. That includes tailgates. There's a bunch of them. I'm sure there's going to be more popping up here before this game actually happens. But just some of the ones that we've been able to see. The hermanos from Comets, they are throwing their tailgate party, and they're celebrating Ghanaian Heritage Night. Of course, our JP, our Unbreakable One, Joseph Paintsill, will be celebrating as well. So make sure and link up with them. This next one is a collaboration between a couple of different groups. They're not official supporter groups, but it's cool that they're organizing and come together. The Vantablack Ultras and Manos Unidos, Compton Originals, Watts Originals, South Central G's, they're all getting together and throwing a barbecue at the digs. I mean, they're doing like free burgers and free fries and hot dogs and stuff like that on us. So I can't be there, but make sure and go show some love to these groups out there, man, and go tell them what's up, because they're out there doing their thing for the Galaxy as well. And of course we have the Vegas G's that are getting together once again at the Crown and Anchor. I've actually been when I've been in Vegas, and super cool group, super welcoming, great place to go catch a match. So if you're in Vegas for whatever reason, link up with these guys. And of course, guys, check out the supporter group socials for any other parties going down. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of them, so make sure and check out what's going down for festivities. Galactic Carnival's also happening this weekend, guys. It'll be happening on Sunday, August 25th from 2 to 6 at the digs. This is going to be for season ticket members. This is the second time they've done this, so this is kind of like a carnival style, with access to indoor soccer, pickleball, paddle courts, and entertainers. And of course you get a chance to see the first team, and if you are a season ticket member, I hope you RSVP'd for this, because this is going down on August 25th this weekend. And of course, in October we have the Galactic Fiesta also happening. But as we get closer to that, we'll go ahead and tell you about that. I don't know if is it the Galactic Fiesta? Is it the I'm drawing a blank on the name right now. And help me out here. What is this one called? The
I thought it was the Galactic
Fiesta,
no? Puede ser.
Galactica?
Yeah, puede ser. I can't remember. I can't
No
even remember, dude. Yeah.
Well, as we get closer to that, we'll let you guys know more about that, or give you guys reminders about that. So moving right along here, VCFC bringing you the latest update here on your LA Galaxy second team, formerly known as Galaxy 2. VCFC just lost their last match due to the Cobra Defiance. 4-3 in penalties after 2-2 after a 2-2 draw in regulation. VCFC has only won once in their last 6 matches. They actually just made a bunch of signings. So in the next show, and I'll make sure to go ahead and bring you guys some information about the new faces that they have at VCFC. But yeah, this loss takes them down to 4th place after 22 matches played. 6 matches left in the season now for VCFC. They're on a 7-9-6 record on 37 points.
Rob, Fiesta Galactica. There we go.
And
thanks, GCam.
They're now ranked 8th. Oh, GCam says Fiesta Galactica October 12th. That's what it is. Fiesta Galactica. There we go. Thank you, GCam. So yeah, VCFC is now ranked 8th, y'all. Next up, they face Real Monarchs at home on Sunday, August 25th at 7 p.m. And since we're telling, I don't know why I didn't just go ahead and tell you guys about this. When I was telling you guys about activities on the 24th, but Pups at the Pitch is also back. So if you have a 4-legged friend, if you have, the
Oh,
big afternoon.
Rob, you still there?
Watch.
Sorry, guys.
Play.
No, go ahead, man. Sorry, you're cutting out. I was just trying to fill the dead space there.
Yeah,
no, go ahead. I know you're on island internet right now, so it's all good.
Oh man, sorry. I'm popping out in and out, guys. Where did you lose me? Pups at the Pitch?
Yeah, you're still at Pups at the Pitch. We're still talking about the pups, of course.
Awesome. Okay, well, anyway, like I said, that's going to be a ticket for $41. That gets you a beer, a ticket, and a dog pass. After that match on the 24th, stick around and support the LA Galaxy Special Olympics Unified Team. You know what? I think this is getting close to being one of their last matches, so they are representing the badge. So get out there and support. You know what? I want to see everybody in this chat out there supporting the Special Olympics Unified Team. Like I said, they are part of this crest in this team. So get out there. And yeah, I mean, that takes us into the match proper, Ananda. How you feeling? I mean, it's the restart.
Yeah, I mean, it's the restart. I'm excited, man, more than anything. Just excited to see this team again. I've had kind of a little bit of a while to digest, sort of ever since that loss to Seattle, right? So that was not the nicest way we got bounced out of that tournament, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just excited looking to this game. I think this game in particular is a very winnable one. We'll talk about why that is and sort of why my feelings are that way. But yeah, just more excited and anxious, but in a good way more than anything.
Like I've told you a bunch of times, guys, I am tremendously bummed that I'm not going to be there. I mean, it's really weird on it because I'm quite literally like, you've been here, you've been to the Galapagos, so it's gorgeous. The water's pristine, the food's amazing. Yeah. You get to swim with turtles and sea lions and sharks and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm just so bummed that I'm not going to be at the game on Saturday. So I hope all of you guys hold it down. I hope all you guys just show up and show out for Los Angeles and show Marco what's up, and hopefully the hopefully the Galaxy show up and show out as well and get 3 points. But speaking of points, let's look at where we are in the MLS standings before we get into this game proper. We've told you guys already, the Galaxy have not played a game in a couple of weeks since the Leagues Cup. Going into the Leagues Cup, not much has changed since then. So through 26 matches played, they hold a 14-7-5 record. Galaxy first place in the Western Conference right now. Like they say in Spanish, duélale a que le duela. They sit atop the Western Conference at the MLS All-Star break for the first time since the 2011 campaign. So we're always talking about progress and the Galaxy hitting benchmarks. That's definitely one of them. Currently they're 2 points ahead of LAFC, 5 points ahead of RSL, and they unfortunately, LFC has 2 games in hand over them, and RSL has 1 game in hand. Currently, they're second in the Supporter Shield standings, 4 points behind the leaders Inter Miami, while Miami also has 1 game in hand. The Galaxy have been averaging 1.88 points per game. Interesting note here, Ananda. You said this to me a couple of weeks ago. Games in hand don't mean anything. I mean, you still have to go out and win these matches. So
Yep.
that just means, yes, they have games in hand over the Galaxy, but in LAFC's case, that just means that they have more matches to play in a shorter or in the same amount of time, which is a shorter time span, to get all those matches in. So, that's the one caveat is that you have to play more matches, so you burn out. But anyway, that's where we are.
And now that they're in Leagues Cup final, Robert, they even have a more compressed time space, right? Because their match this weekend got moved because now they're in the final this weekend. So look, I think I'm still of the belief that games in hand don't mean anything. Of course, LAFC in their particular case, I mean, they're on fire right now, so you wouldn't see it past them to kind of win out most of those games. But again, we take any sort of little advantages that we can at this point, right?
Yes. Right now it's going to be, I mean, dumb things like Seattle doesn't water their pitch or makes their pitch intentionally gross so other teams can't go in and use possession style, so no, and any advantage is good right now. But GCam said he looked up Atlanta's DPs. We will get their GCam, but let's go ahead and let you know where we are, where Atlanta is after the break, after the resumption of the league. After 25 games, they're in 9th place on 28 points, 1.12 points per game on a 7-7-11 record. They do have a -1 goal difference at the moment. They haven't played in quite a while either because they got grouped in the Leagues Cup. Their first match was a 0-0 against Santos Laguna, and then they rattled off a 3-3 just cracker of a match against DC United. Before the Leagues Cup, they actually pulled off quite a result. They beat Columbus 2-1 in their last match before the Leagues Cup, but before that they were winless in 4, and they had only had 3 wins in their last 10 league matches. They have only won twice on the road this season, Ananda, so that translates to just 10 away points for them all year. But you know what, they have made a couple of new DP signings, just like GCam mentioned, and they have scored 7 goals in the last 5 matches. So just things of note. And has anything jumped out at you in the lead up to kind of looking at this match
from the Atlanta side, or just in general?
In general,
jumped out. I don't think so. Of course, the big talking point is the 2 DPs on either side, right, which we'll get into. And I think just seeing how they're going to integrate into this game. But anything jumping out at me, not necessarily. I'm just curious to see how we come out the blocks after this sort of extended period, and just sort of how the team responds. But we'll get into those details, I think, as we talked about the lineup, etc. So why don't you keep going, man? I know you've got some more stats to rattle off heading into this match.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I want to say thank you to chat for bearing with my internet while I'm on the island right here.
Hey, we can see your pretty mug again, man. We can see your pretty mug again. There you go. Hey.
Look at that. And
looking all tan and stuff.
Damn. I have the paintings just behind me, the little turtles and stuff like that. We have a
commissioner
real quick
sighting.
Shout out from the commissioner, saying quick shout out to Lacuna Matata holding on to that last playoff spot in League G. Shout out all my Lacuna Matadans. I've missed the last couple match days and they've been holding it down. I've missed the last couple match days because I've been offside. If you know, anyway, been missing you guys, and yeah, of course, Commish, we're gonna be holding on to that last playoff spot, and we're coming for everybody. We're gonna be a problem in the playoffs. No one's gonna want to see us in the playoffs, y'all. But
yeah, we're hanging on by a thread. But hey, just saying what's up to Matthew comments 96. By the way, guys, Robert will not be there, but I will be there for the Corner of Galaxy live show beforehand. So if you see me, definitely come up and say hi. I've got more stickers for y'all. Just come hi. Let's have a chat. Let's have a beverage of choice and just say hi. Come to say hi, man, for sure. I love meeting all you guys.
oh, are you gonna SADA it?
You know what? SADA, I feel like that's a forever rule that will always be in effect. So I will never say no. So you guys tread. Your mileage may vary. So everyone tread with your peril.
Vamos. All right. So let's get into this match preview. Because we about that business today, and the Galaxy need to be about that business on Sábado. So, all right, and 12 regular season matches played at the Digs this year. The Galaxy hold an unbeaten record, 9-0-3. So, props to them. They are making that place a fortress. They've won 7 consecutive league matches at home, dating back to May 25th, and they've outscored their opponents 19-9 in that time. This match on Saturday marks the 5th time these two teams play, and the Galaxy haven't really done well against Atlanta. It's a 1-3-0 record, only 2 goals for versus 9 goals against. So hopefully this Saturday they break that duck and they're able to pull off a win. In 2 matches played at home against Atlanta, they have a 1-1-0 record. The last time these two teams met, the Galaxy earned a 2-0 shutout victory, and that one was at home. And speaking of playing at home, the Killer Peas are flying at home. In 13 games, Gabriel Pecci has 9-8. JP has 6-6 in 11 home games, and the Prince, who was promised, since the homie, the primo Matt is in the chat. The Prince who was promised, Ricardo Puig, has 5 goals and 6 assists in 10 matches. But you know what? It's funny because we're talking about our 3 Killer Ps or DPs, and it was funny in the lead up to this. You and I spoke a bit about Atlanta's. Ooh, you got
there it is,
me,
G.
son.
There it is, G Cam.
The
in
first
the Galapagos and everything. There we go.
That's a shot for you. All right. All right. So no, but we were speaking about how Atlanta's lost a lot of their DPs, or they've lost big contributors recently.
Yep.
The 3 big ones, Georgios Giamakis, Thiago Almada, and Caleb Wiley. Obviously, they all went for big money. But which of the 3 for you is probably the biggest loss for Atlanta?
I mean, I think I'm going to go for the obvious answer and just say Almada, right? Like, he has been the talisman of that team. We talk about talisman a lot as we assess teams, right, Robert, in terms of their effectiveness and how far they make their team go. We had a great debate, a great conversation with Sophie about who is the talisman of the Galaxy. Is it Riqui Puig, or is Gabriel Pec slowly taking that talismanic figure off of that, right?
Cosmo.
So yeah, exactly. Good answer. But I look at Almada and I say he's been the talisman of that team. He's been the engine that's driving that team. He's always kind of been in the last couple of years, Robert, if I'm not incorrect, like saying that he's been in the MVP considerations, right, these last couple of years. So
absolutely,
I think he's a huge miss. I mean, I know Giamakis got really hot in the time that he was at MLS, but I think it's got to be Almada, man. And just like where he went and for the money that he went, I think it kind of shows that as well.
Well, I think I have to kind of agree and disagree at the same time, because Giamakis was bang on. I mean, even before he left, he had 5 goals and an assist for Atlanta before being sold to Cruz Azul for 9.6 million. I think Cruz Azul got a steal, because I think they probably could have.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Atlanta probably could have gotten like 12-13 million for him or something like that. But in 2023, Giamakis himself was in the MVP conversation for a little bit. I mean, he had 19
Fair
and
point.
2, even though his teammate Thiago Almada, like you said, I mean, he did his thing as well. He had 12 goals and 16 assists. But you know what? He's now gone. I mean, to Botafogo for 20 million. But you know, I think the most important one for me is because you attacking talent is out there, right? Maybe it's not always affordable, but you know, they lost Caleb Wiley to Chelsea for 11 million. Good left back, a good attack, a good defensive left back, and also got into the attack. So you know, they sold him for 11 million. Last year he had 4 goals and 4 assists. I mean, eight goal contributions from a defender is, I mean, there's a lot of attacking players in MLS that don't get that, and then you have Wiley popping up with 4 and 4. So
Hey,
Chelsea got to feel.
Real quick though, Baba, I feel so bad for the kid that he's going to Chelsea. Feel
Oh
so
yeah,
bad for him.
absolutely,
He's going to an absolute dumpster fire. Did you hear those comments Maresca made about like I need 22
absolutely.
players. I've got 47 players, but I actually only have
I
22.
don't talk to
And
21 of them.
oh my god, like what a dumpster fire. Long may it continue, by the way. And
Oh yeah,
GCam
absolutely.
GCam had a question here. Why did they get rid of Giamakis? Was he an inseparable dude in the locker room or something? You know what? I'm not sure, man. I'm not plugged in
I
into
can't tell you
on the
either.
Atlanta side, but you know what? We are going to sort of refer you to. I know they're a good friends of the News Across the Galaxy. This podcast called Scarves and Spikes. I'm sure they have some info on their website or their pod. I'm sure you can look into that. I think I want to say Edgar Nags did a podcast with them recently. They might have talked about Giamakis on that pod. So go ahead and check that out, man. Just shouting him out.
Yeah, the Nag Boys did do a pod with Scarves and Spikes. I believe that was yesterday at 5 p.m. or it could have been today. I'm not 100% sure. To be honest, LA Galaxy fans and Laguna Galaxians, it's been hard to be connected because you know I'm on the island. So whenever I am connected, I'm trying to get it caught up and stuff like that. But it has been a little hard. Connectivity has been a little hard. But anyway, back to Atlanta departures. You know they've been able to collect 40.6 million in player sales in the last 6 months, which you know they promptly turned around and spent on a new DP named Alexei Miranchuk, center attacking midfielder, 28 years old, from Atalanta in Serie A in Italy. They dropped 12 million, big ones on that cat. While he wasn't an out and out everyday starter, he was a contributor at the very least. 3 goals and 5 assists in 27 matches in 2023 in his last full season. He did help them win the Europa League title that year. In 2024, he had 4 goals and 5 assists in 29 matches. He is available for selection for Atlanta on Saturday. But you know, I've be lying if I said I knew a lot about the videos, and he's silky, but he's not a Ricky Pooch, you know. So I expect the Galaxy defense to be able to handle him if they do see him. But Ananda, you wanted to bring up something about you know, like form.
Yeah, I just want to bring up the form table, guys, and this is just something new that I checked out that I thought I'd share with y'all. I think it's as good now, especially as we're coming to that 8-game stretch, that last game stretch or for the season for all these MLS teams. Just the form that we're heading into, right? Both teams, as we look at these matchups. I mean, look at the Galaxies. It's funny, we have these like doldrum moments, right, Robert? You know, especially in Leagues Cup, how we crash out of that. The unfortunate loss against LAFC, especially that horrible loss away from home at Dallas. But if you look at our record, man, our form is like properly good heading into this match, right? We've won the last 6 of 8. If you extend it all the way back, Robert, we've won our last 9 out of 12s and or our last 9 out of 12 games. And you look at all those and there's no ties in there. So where that was sort of a trend in the beginning of the season, we're starting to win those games now. We're starting to get all 3 points, the maximum 3 points versus the 1, which has helped a lot in our seeding, right? And that's why we're the number 1 seed with even though the other teams have a couple of games in hand. So I look at the stretch and thinking about our last 8 matches, we would have, I think we would have a great shot if we win. We continue that streak. That's 6 out of 8. If we win these next 6 out of 8, man, I think there's a really, really good case to be made now for that number 1 seed. As you pointed out, I know you mentioned to me here in some of our sort of statistics notes that we've written down. We've scored 11 goals in our last 5, but the only thing is, the only little blemish, right? And this is the Achilles heel, as we talked about with the Galaxy, is we have not kept a clean sheet in the last 8 as well. So that we've got to turn around definitely. If you look at on the Atlanta side, this is why I look at this game as a gettable game for us. Their form hasn't been great. They've lost the last 3 of 5 during the stretch, especially where they had those 3 road games in succession. You see it right there on the screen against New England, RSL, and Montreal. So this is a gettable team, especially based on our form. The interesting about this one, though, is remember, it's almost like another parallel universe, right? These games happened a while ago. There was a big Leagues Cup break in between. Atlanta played 2 games. We played 3 subsequently, right? So you got to take that into account and sort of the form. But in general, we're a much better team than them, and this should be a W, right?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, it's the Galaxy win, but of course, whenever we say that, trap game.
Oh man, don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Come out and play it. I'm not gonna ruin the vibes. Saturday needs to be a day of celebration, and it needs to be a big day. I mean, if Atlanta turned around and dropped ducats on Miranchuk, the Galaxy was able to get their next big signing for relatively nothing compared to the 12 million that Atlanta dropped on Miranchuk. So the Galaxy are they announced today that they are officially that Marco Reus is officially available for selection on Saturday against Atlanta United, and that's per their announcement on X or Twitter or what have you. Of course, you guys know that he's already been training with the team. That was since last week. There's been videos of him training with the team. And it's funny because he just looks like this little blonde whirlwind out there. I can't wait till him, Lashaki Fagundes, and then Ricky all go blonde again at the same time. But anyway, yeah, he was officially presented last Friday, 8/16, and it was a cool event. And I mean, I was there virtually. I couldn't be there in person, but even the German consulate was there. So it was really interesting to see, even an official government office in the world get involved in this unveiling.
I mean, it looks like they probably got involved in our visa, right? Because holy hell, I mean, of course, he done miracles. We say that about Will Kuntz. Well, so, the staff definitely done miracles on Marco's visa, and I'm sure the German consulate had a big part in that.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's another reason that I'm super bummed to be missing this game. Is because it's going to be a really big moment. Marco Reus debuting. I mean, I was kind of throwing shade, and I hope he doesn't debut. I don't want to miss it. I mean, and then I even told Ananda, like, think about it, man. Like, it sets up this whole storyline where like his first home game is at El Tráfico on 9/14. And he comes on in like the 75th minute and he scores a free kick winner. And it didn't happen. He got his visa, and I'm really happy that it happened because he gets to play. But I'm again really bummed that I can't be there. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a really, really fun day for you guys. Is there anything that you took away from the press conference, Ananda?
Yeah, it's funny because I was on the road sort of listening to it. I caught it, I think, Friday afternoon, because I believe the press conference is in the morning. And other than shout out Sophie for asking the question or mentioning to Marco about the traffic on the 405 freeway, right? That was a pretty funny moment, I think. But one of the main thing that I took out of it, man, is just his level of professionalism. It's elite, right? Just coming into the situation, he kind of understands his role already within this team, sort of his place within the team, how he's going to affect the team, but he does it with sort of a level of humbleness, like humility. And, you know, even some of his quotes, right? He says, I'm here to help the team, and to win championships. That's the reason why I play football. And of course, that's the reason why I'm here. And then he talked about, you know, sort of, he's not the young guy anymore, right? Like he's that older guy. He's the older savvy vet now on the team. It's like, he's already understanding, like intellectually, maturity wise, he's already understanding his place on the team. And even just professionalism in terms of how he's keeping in shape, right? Like Greg and Will have been talking about how even he's been in shape. He's been working with his trainers, just trying to make sure that he stays at a, you know, at a minimum threshold of fitness, right? As he gets ready for the new season. And I think about I go back to our conversation with Sophie again, Robert. I like the way she analyzed, like, you think about, to answer some of these questions about the effectiveness of something new or a new system or a new player, you think about what you had before. And what we had before was DPs. I'm not going to name any names, right? But that maybe didn't keep themselves totally fit in the offseason, like this man. Maybe wasn't a good presence in the locker room, right? So I look at all those things and I'm like, yeah, this guy he looks like a home run already just walking to that press conference. So that was the biggest thing I took away, man. Just elite level of professionalism, bar none.
Yeah, no, he definitely said all the right things. You know, I'm here to help the team win. I'm here. It's been 10 years since the team won. We need to win a cup. You know, he said all the right things, and it's great to hear that he comes in with that mentality. And you know, you could tell that he's not like, in Spanish the word is creído. He doesn't like, he's not full of himself. He's right. Very, like you said, humble. Really quick, GCam says, what would be the name of his band? I'm assuming he means Marco Reus. I'm gonna say his band name. He's in a punk band, and it's called Das Boot. And they play speed punk or oi punk, and occasionally they have some horns. And
I like this one, Bauhaus. Matthew, Comics 96, he says Bauhaus. I like that one with the Z.
Is going to be playing. Oh, wow. Yeah, you know, I dig it. Yeah. But you know, guys, it's going to be fantastic for you guys to see this man trot out onto the Diggs pitch on Saturday. I mean, hopefully this match is already beyond a result where the Galaxy already know that they have this one sewn up, and he gets to come on and just play some football under no pressure, and, you know, get some touches with his teammates and stuff like that. You know, so I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, just from very, very far away, I'll get to see the match, but looking forward to seeing Marco Reus come on for however many minutes that Greg gives him on Saturday. So Marco Reus will be available, but there will be Galaxy players who will not be available. Raul G says that Marco Reus's band name is Dash and Revolt. I like that one too.
I like the dog reference. I like the pups reference. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. The Raquinho Royce. No, I'll workshop that one. But anyway, guys, you guys saw him in the League's Cup. You guys loved him. However, he will not be available against this weekend against Atlanta. Amiro Garces is still out. He will start training on Monday per Greg Vanny, but he's still, you know, a little bit of ways away. He might be available. He might be available against St. Louis. Greg did give an update on Dejan Jovic. He said that he's extremely close. He's a game day decision, but most likely he will be seen for the first time again against St. Louis. And Julian Aude is one who's still more, you know, for not as far as long as Dejan or Amito. He's still about 2 weeks out. He's not likely for this weekend or against St. Louis, but he could be ready for the home El Tráfico on September 14th. And then Ananda, you know, we dropped a short titled Galaxy Goalkeeping Wars, and, you know, the plot thickens because Novak Mikovic, who did not play in the last League's Cup game for the Galaxy, did not make the bench. He won't be available Saturday for the next match, although he is training with the team. He will he will reintegrate into the team on Monday after not being available for the match. Of course, this dovetails into the rumor that Tommy Bogert put out there that his camp did ask for a transfer. So are we reading too much into these things, Ananda, or do you think that there's something there, and this is why he's being managed this way with his game time?
I mean, they always say, right, there's no smoke without fire, right? And I'm pretty sure there was a fire building in-house. And I think this is, I may be reading into this the wrong way. Again, this is probably not my place. I'm just looking at this from the outside. I think this was Greg's way of disciplining him, right? He said, I think his words were, he's training with the team. He won't be available, but he will reintegrate with the team on Monday. And so I think that was Greg's way of saying, hey, you get a timeout. Think about what you did, sit in the corner, right? Think about what you and your agents did. And then when you're ready, when I feel like you're mentally ready to get back into this team and go in for the cause and sort of help us, get to where we want to be and be part of this team, be part of the 11 or be part of the team in general. And I'll get you back. So I feel like this was Greg's way of doing that. That's my read on it.
Do you think that this is one of those things where his representation was like, hey, you know what, let's try to force the hand, let's say what's up, and say what up, son, and Greg was like, what up, and they had to back down, because occasionally that happens, sometimes players will be like, nah, man, or at least if they say, nah, man, my representation or my agent, I don't know what he's doing, I don't know why he said that, blah blah, but do you think it's one of those, or do you think it's just like, hey, man, they went for it, they missed, and like you said, no, he gets a timeout?
Yeah, I think it's the later, right? I think it's the one. It's his agents trying to sort of, throw a dart out there and see if it sticks, kind of thing. But again, one of the things that was interesting, and I saw someone comment on this. I can't remember where I saw it, Rob, but this is coming out of, because correct me if I'm wrong, he has the same representation as Dayon. So I think Dayon used this playbook maybe a year ago, right, when he was not getting playing time. So it's kind of one of those things. And they took a swing and they missed. And so I think he needs to sort of regroup and refocus mentally back into this team. Because again, we could really use him, right? Again, we're knock on wood, we're one little injury, McCarthy injury away from needing this guy and him being the number one goalkeeper. So again, he needs to be ready. He needs to be part of this team. Hey, Rob. Oh man, I think the island internet is killing him, guys. Well, anyway, so you back with us?
Yeah, internet is absolutely internet is doing to me what Seattle did to the Galaxy in the last Leagues Cup match.
Absolutely.
I heard most of what you were saying.
Yeah.
About Novak, and yeah, you're right. I did hear that as well, that his representation is the same. It tracks. I mean, they are countrymen, they and they are really good friends in the locker room. So it makes sense that something like that is happening. But you actually got some lowdown on Atlanta from the Scarves and Spikes appearance on NAG. So what do they got going on for their availability?
Yeah, so it looks like they mostly have a clean bill of health. They said that Danny Rios, who is a pretty big contributor for them in the attack, he picked up a knock in Leagues Cup, but looks like he should be back. And same with wingback Ronald Hernandez. And of course, as Robert said at the top of the show, their new DP, Alexei Miranchuk, he has his visa and is available for selection. They're thinking he's not going to start. I think same with probably our prediction in that Marco Reus is probably not going to start. He might get some minutes off the bench. And I think they're saying the same for Miranchuk as well. And so, Rob, that brings us to sort of, now we have the team news out of the way. It sort of brings us into what the lineup is going to look like, right? And just looking at this, so on the screen there, it sort of flashed what the last two lineups were in the last Leagues Cups games for both of these teams. Going to focus more so on the Galaxy side. Of course, we pretty much fielded our strongest 11, given injuries, etc. Of course, you had Johnny Nelson filling in for Aude. You had Paintsil playing as the number 9, with Peck and Fagundes as the wingers, and Ricky in that number 10. And of course, you had the midfielders of Serio and Delgado. And then the center back partnership of Neil and Yoshida, right? So it's interesting now, looking, going into the next match, what lineup we're looking at. Are we going to start JP again on their number 9? What's our center back partnership, Gus? What's our center back partnership going to be? I think the interesting one for me too is Gaston, right? I look at this last 8-game stretch, Rob, and I think Gaston is going to be a really vital cog in that midfield. He's going to be an important contributor. I think we need for him to contribute. And then, of course, like, when and how will Reus feature, right? I think my take on this is I think he's going to get 30 minutes off the bench. But, I think all in all, though, given the injuries of where we are, you said Decky's probably most likely not going to be ready this week. I think that will put JP back in the number 9, sort of where he's been playing. And then I think the rest of the lineup sort of picks itself. I think it's going to be the same lineup. I think the only thing for me is I would actually like to see Gaston back in there, because I think, like I said, he needs some minutes. He's trying to get back into full fitness, and I think he's going to be in a really important part of that midfield. But other than that, I think we're going to go with a similar lineup like you're seeing on the screen there, which is the team that we played last against Seattle. You're on mute, Papa.
Oh, and I was muted. Anyway, like I was saying, internet was kicking my butt again. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see the way that Greg uses Gaston, because Serrio's been lights out, and Gaston's pretty much been gone for the entire season. So, he's only played in, I fact check me on this chat if you can, but I think it's only been like 8 or 9 matches. So, Serio's been there. He's been the one that's kind of been, holding it down. So, how much time does Gaston get? How much? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think we need Gaston's experience in there, man. Sergio's been prone to the odd mistake here and there. I think there are certain lapses of the game where he loses concentration, and that little 10% drop of concentration, again, causes those turnovers, right, in our own zone, especially against the more aggressive teams. So, especially now, remember, Atlanta, well, what I'm hearing is they play they switch between like a 4-back and a 3-back formation. So if they do play a wing-back formation, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the midfield, especially in transition. So I really want to see Gaston in there, because he was, remember, before his injuries, guys, he was a really, really important part. He was sort of the pivot, the fulcrum of that midfield. I think we need him in there, especially for the experience. We need that experienced head as to how to manage games and how to win these games down the stretch and into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, but I mean, we've spoken about this before. Well, what a luxury, right? To be able to turn around. Greg Vanney turns around, and he can bring on Marco Reus off the bench, or he can bring on either Gaston or Edwin Serio off the bench. That's not a luxury that Greg used to have. So it must be really heartwarming for him. So, but anyway, Ananda, what are the stats we're going to get there that are going to dictate this match?
Yeah, so I pulled up the stats there on the screen, guys. So for the audio listeners, I'll try to narrate this as best as possible per usual. Again, this is sort of a recap of what we know about the Galaxy, right? We know they're a dangerous offensive team. So I think the more interesting thing is we're looking at Atlanta and see where they are offensively and defensively in terms of the underlying stats. So expected goals, Atlanta sort of middle of the pack at 38.4 expected goals. I believe they've scored 35 this year, so they've underperformed their XG by 3. We know the Galaxy is potent, and we always create a lot of chances. I thought this one was interesting, Rob. Touches in the opposition box. Atlanta is second in the league with 712 touches in the opposition box. So we know they're a team that likes to get in and around the areas. I wonder, though, how much this stat is affected by the earlier season play of Thiago Almada and Giamakis, right? Maybe some of those guys get into more dangerous areas than they do now. I'm not sure what the trends are saying in that, but I thought that was really interesting. Something for LA Galaxy, for us to keep in mind of. And then I thought this was interesting as well, and I've seen it actually in a lot of their highlights, Rob, researching for this pod. accurate crosses per match, Atlanta 6.3 accurate crosses per match. That's tied for best in the league. So what have we been deficient on this year, Robert? Is, set piece whipped balls, right? Or even whipped balls from either flank. So that's, again, for our center backs especially, and for those fullbacks to cut out. That's something, if they like to cross that ball in and they're accurate, they have a high accuracy rate. That's something for us to watch out for sure. On the defensive end, not a great defensive team, 4 clean sheets out of the year. It's not terrible, but, we only have 6. Like we mentioned, the Galaxy don't have any clean sheets in the last 8 matches. So expect probably goals to be scored and shared either way. XG conceded, decent, 34.3 XG conceded. That's sort of in the upper tier of the league. That's in the top third. And this is another one, Rob. I keep always bringing this stat up, especially for the Galaxy and how deficient we are. But successful tackles per match, Atlanta's at 10.5. That's in the top 10 in the league. So they do look like a team that likes to get stuck in. And so, this one's going to be an interesting one. I think that crosses one was the one that turned my head, and as to where's the threat going to come from, right, on their end. And it looks like that crossing, that's a way they like to create chances. Hey, Rob, you there, Baba? Man, this internet.
One of the things that I... Yeah,
You're good,
one of
you're
the things... Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that I picked up on in the lead up to this is kind of dovetails off of it, or like kind of piggybacks off of that, is that the Galaxy, you've spoken about it a couple times about how teams like LAFC, put in a lot of tackles in the midfield. Well, the Galaxy are not, according to American Soccer Analysis. The Galaxy are dead last in preventing progressive dribbles through the middle third, and third to last in preventing progressive passes through the same zone. So, I mean, if you are just going to give up your middle like that, you're going to allow them to play through their middle. Of course, you're going to put in some crosses. If you give them the space, they're going to operate in it, and maybe that's why the Galaxy have, been not good on set pieces or in those whipped balls in, because they're allowing them to get the space in the midfield, and which allows them to get out to the flanks. So anyway, that's one of the things that I found interesting. They're going to have to watch out, because even though Atlanta has lost a couple players, they did bring in some other players besides Miranchuk. One of their new wingers, Jamal Thiar, has 5 goals. Daniel Rios, another one of their new players, has 6 goals and 2 assists. And this new man that is pictured here, Saba, 6 goals and 7 assists in 21 games for Atlanta. So Giamakis is out, and Saba is the new man in. So this one is for chats. Go ahead and let me know. Fill in the blank here. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... And before we go back to yours, Ananda, let's go ahead and get some betting odds for this one.
Yeah, so definitely put that in there, chat, and put in your it's almost prediction time, so definitely put those in there as well. And so betting odds, I'm gonna
drop those in there too.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up that right here. So LA Galaxy is at a -145, which is about a 59% chance of winning. Again, we're the home team, so that's not a surprise. Atlanta is at a +300. That's a 25% chance. Probably about average, I would say, from what we see from away teams. So, yeah, I mean, again, the bookies are expecting us to win this. Of course, Galaxy have the better record. We're the better team. I don't want to say trap game, but I want to say trap game kind of thing. That's sort of the vibes that I'm getting. But yeah, Rob, I'm interested to see. Well, I don't know if you want me to answer it first. I don't know how your internet is right now, but what do you think the Galaxy need to do to win? What's the one thing they need to do?
Not get caught up in the occasion. Just go out there and play their game as usual. It's going to be a big occasion. It's the first game back after the League's Cup. They're going to be raring to go. They have Marco Reus to debut. There's going to be a lot of energy in the building. So they need to go out there and play their game, play a professional game, not get caught up in the moment. let's look at their last match. I mean, 7 minutes in, they were out of it. So they need to go in and our primo Matt says, do not concede. Yes, that definitely goes into it. You can't concede in the first 7 minutes, much less twice, and expect to have there and play a professional game. Be mentally focused. Don't concede in the first 7 minutes, and you already given yourself a shot. What about you, man?
Yeah, before that, even Gary says for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to strike fast and hard and deplete Atlanta of all morale in the first half. 2-0 first half and 2 in the second. Galaxy 4-0 for the RUIZ debut. Wow, that would be amazing. I don't want to get too far into predictions, Rob, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think I agree with you. You use the word professional, and that was the same word that I was going to use. They need to put together a professional performance. Unlike Gary, I don't think they're going to come out the blocks fast because we've had the break, right? There's going to be rust for sure. I think, like you said, they're gonna live off of the vibes. They're going to live off of the energy, especially in that first half. But I think we're going to come off the blocks a little bit slow, a little bit measured. I'm not going to say slow. I'd rather say measured and calculated and feel the game out. We might have a couple chances, but we'll probably miss them. But the thing that I want to see is a professional performance. Now, I'm sort of thinking about this long term, Papa. Like, I want to see this team manage the game. We've been talking about it all year, ever since we talked about it with C Miles in the first week of the season, right? Managing games, being professional in games and managing those consistently for the 90 minutes. And for me, one of the big signs for that is, like you said, not having big lapses in mental concentration, right? Giving up 2 goals in the first 7 minutes. Like, that's unacceptable, right? We can't do that. Whether you're home or away from home. The biggest thing for me, for example, is like, not conceding big chances to the other team, like really controlling this thing from our passing, from our tempo, not making silly mistakes, right? We can make 1 or 2, but we can't make big ones that concede to really big chances on the other end and make us think, man, if McCarthy wasn't there, we could be down like 1-0 or 2-0, whatever. So I'm not looking for the scoreline as much. I'm looking more about the performance and the maturity of the performance, and hopefully that we can be sort of dominant and quote unquote comfortable to not make me like have a heart attack in the stadium, right? And by the way, and let Marco Reus's introduction be a comfortable one, right? Like, let us be in the lead when Marco comes in. So it's like we're not looking at him to be the savior in game 1. That's not a situation that we want to be in necessarily, right? So yeah, man, I'm just looking for a professional performance. That's the one thing. Clean sheet would be nice, like Matthew said, but professional performance all the way for the 90 minutes.
Oh yeah, I mean, 3 points and a clean sheet. Marco Reus debut. Jalen Neal, 21st birthday. Hey, that would be killer, right? We do have a question in chat from Mach 1 Smoku. They say, how do you think Reus will fit in the team? Well, it's Reus is a godsend because he can fit in anywhere across the front 4. I mean, right now that Dayon is out, Greg can say, hey, let me go ahead and throw JP back on the left, Gabriel Peck on the right. Let me play Marco Reus as a false 9, and then Ricky just behind him. Or you can go ahead and bring him in off the bench and literally play him anywhere across the front 4. So, I mean, Greg right now is spoiled for don't know what he's going to do. If it were me personally, I wouldn't like to piggyback off of what Ananda said. It's don't have him be the savior in the first game. Like have him come in. Put him in, give him the opportunity to be comfortable. Put him in what his most comfortable position is, and let him create. But
yeah, I mean, I'm okay with him being the savior, but I want him to be the savior in big matches, right? Like, for example, if he can write a storyline, like you said, Robert, of Zlatan's storyline that he wrote against LAFC, like those are the moments that we signed this guy for. We talked about it, and if you guys watch the Los GATACTICOS, we talk about it there as well. He's gonna be a moments player. And in terms of answering Mach 1 Smoku's question about how he fit in this team, we talked about with Sophie, Rob, in that episode. we all saw him as a super sub, as a guy sort of like, you know, a Mike McGee of sorts, right? Like not exactly that player, but just the impact that he's going to have on the team. He's going to be the guy that we're going to look to make things happen in the final third, in those last 30, 40 minutes when we really we're pushing for a goal, right? Whether to close out a game, to bury a game, to win a game, whatever that is, he's going to be that moment's player. And so we're not answering this question like, is he going to be a left wing? Is he going to be cam? Is he going to be striker? A guy that I listened to, a good friend of ours from the Arsenal Vision podcast, this guy Clive, he said something really interesting. He always says, let's not think about the starting 11. Let's think about the team. And that's how we have to start thinking about this Galaxy team. It's not about the starting 11 anymore, Rob. It's about this team and this depth that we have, right? And bringing a guy, like you said, like Marco, like a Diego, like a Gaston off the bench, that's just a testament to this team and where this team is going and the quality level. We've raised the floor of this team with Marco Reus, like immediately, right? So I'm just more excited for that and that fit in terms of him being that special moments player.
Bring this one up, Ananda. Comments 96, the Primo Matt says Reus replaces Vasquez, a veteran presence with elite vision and passing. I mean, that's even that is a big upgrade. I mean, Victor was a class human being, but you know, I think no one will argue with the fact that Reus is an upgrade on him. But yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about, you know, when Dayon does come back, you know, then you have your Dayon up front with your JP on the left and your Gabriel Peck on the right and your Ricky behind, and then yeah, you have Diego coming off the bench, you have Marco coming off the bench, you have Gaston coming off the bench. I mean,
yep,
what a luxury. I love it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's some depth to have, right? That's a good stock to bench to have. We have another good one from Matt. As good as Pooch is, as good as Pooch is, Reus will see and play passes even faster. Hopefully, Pooch can learn from that. Yeah, and to you know, more to that point, I hope Ricky learns from Marco how to be kind of like the main guy on the pitch and not have to go all over the pitch to be the main guy. I think that Ricky is going to learn a lot from him. So, but here we are, Nanda. It's prediction time. Chat, if you haven't done so already, I know a couple of you have. Go ahead and drop those chat game predictions so we know where you stand, and then that way we can come back at you and be like, we got receipts, son. You said they were gonna lose. But anyway, Ananda, I went first last time, so te toca.
I think we are going to put in professional performance, Robert, and it's going to be a 2-0 comprehensive win. I agree with Matt. I think I have a feeling that we are going to get the clean sheet. I think we are going to have a couple dodgy moments, though, for sure. You know, maybe like a McCarthy bobble, a missed assignment, a sort of free header that we let go off of a set piece or of a cross, but we are going to get away with it. I think the vibes at home are going to lift these players up, and again, the electricity in the crowd, especially, I can't wait for that moment, Robert. I know you're going to be sad of missing it. That sort of electricity moment when Marco Reus gets introduced on the pitch for the very first time at Dignity Health Sports Park. I think that's going to, even if let's say it's a 1-0 game, I think that's going to carry us even further. I'm not going to say he's going to get a debut goal. Again, I don't know how many minutes he's going to get. He might even get like even 5 or 10, even that low of a number, but who knows? But I think we are going to put in professional performance, 2-0. I think we're just too good for Atlanta. I don't see this as a trap game at all. I think we're going to be confident. Remember, Rob, the last thing I want to say is one thing that I've been really proud of this team this year is our ability to bounce back. You talked about it with Sophie on the show, mentality, getting over these ducks, breaking them, getting over these mentality hurdles, right, Rob? So I think that's one of the things that we're going to do again. Our bounce back ability has been awesome this year, and I look forward to that, bouncing back from that ugly League Cup exit and winning this match 2-0.
Yes, I'm also calling a win. However, I am calling a 3-1 win. Galaxy are going to be up 3-0, cruising towards a shutout, and then they will probably give up a set piece goal in the 82nd minute. And that's just the way life is. And we're just going to have to live with it. But yeah, I think they're going to get the 3 points here. I think they're much too good for Atlanta as well. 3-1 for me. I thinking that Reus has a goal contribution somehow, some way. And then I'm probably thinking that Gabriel Pecci gets one and JP gets the other, and it's off to the races. 7 games left after that. But I just mentioned it. Coming up after the Atlanta match, the Galaxy go on the road. They are away to St. Louis on Sunday, the 1st of September. That one's going to be an early one, guys. That one's going to be an 11:45 kickoff. So make sure and get to your favorite brunch spot and hit that one up and catch the Galaxy game. Of course, we'll bring you our St. Louis preview on Thursday, August 29th at 9 p.m. Before that, of course, we'll have our Atlanta United reaction on Monday, August 26th. And we mentioned it at the top of the show.
If your internet holds up about on that day. If not, maybe it's a solo show with Ananda.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't be on the island anymore. Yeah. No, I mean, you definitely on the mainland continental Ecuador land, so it should be a little bit better for the internet on Monday here for our reaction pod, guys. Again, thank you so much for bearing with us and hanging out with us today while the internet was bad. But guys, before we get out of here, I do want to let you guys know that Marco Reus is debuting on Saturday, and of course, Los GATACTICOS do have a new video dropping for you, bringing you everything you need to know about how Marco Reus is going to fit into this team tactically. And you know what? We did have a question earlier about where we saw Marco Reus fitting into the team from Mako and Smoku. Well, Mako and Smoku, go ahead and check out the new Los Galacticos video. That's video 2 from Anandita Kirana and El Profe Alex Ruiz. They're going to be breaking down Marco Reus and how he fits here into Los Angeles. GCam says, bring you back a tortoise. Gotcha, fam. Bet. Anyway, Ananda, I think that might be it from us, man. Do you have anything else to add before we get out of here?
Yeah, just a couple of last little predictions here in the chat. So GCam head pick 2-0, just like me. Comments 2 pick. Robert, you know what? It's gonna be 2-0. We're speaking it into existence in this chat room, and
I'm okay with that.
I think we are gonna get the 2-0. So no, like I said, guys and gals in the chat, whether you're listening to this live or on playback, if you do see me at Galaxy Park for the Corner of the Galaxy live show, definitely say hi. Let's talk. Let's have a chat. Let's have a drink. And yeah, I can't wait to meet you guys. So that's it, man. It's all for me. See you guys.
Man, I'm going to miss all you guys at the game on the 24th. Like I said, show up, show out, represent, hold it down, show Marco what Los Angeles is all about, and they'll reward you with a good performance. So I mean, usually we kick this show off with the or end this show with a G's up. You know what? We're gonna do that, but we're also gonna say enjoy the night, y'all. It's gonna be a good night, and take it from here and is experiencing the craziest FOMO. Learn to love those nights. Those nights are gonna start coming up more and more as the Galaxy right the ship and as they come out of that fog of the 10 years. I mean, these were the nights that I remember as when I was way younger that were commonplace. And I mean, Greg's spoken about it a couple times this year, those electric nights that you can't reproduce, whether it's because you're playing Inter Miami with a Leo Messi or a Chivas, but this one is going to be just as special. I mean, Marco Reus is going to be unveiled. Going to be another one of those werewolves. I mean, if you were there when Zlatan debuted, I mean, it was poetry. It was worth every second. So again, enjoy these nights and learn to appreciate them and learn to recognize them. One of my favorite quotes from a show that I never even watched called The Office was, I wish we knew that we were in the good old days when we were in them. Well, guys, we're starting to approach the good old days again with the Galaxy, and so learn to love these days, learn to appreciate them, and like I said, that's pretty much it from us. So one thing left to say. G's up.